Today I'm going to show you the redesign of a 2-year-old personal project. My name is Raymond Stone and I'm a UX designer based in San Francisco. As you saw by the title, the personal project is of course my concept of a Disney streaming service. 2 years ago I interviewed with Disney for their senior interaction designer position for their the current streaming service that they are building. And back then the interviewer said that I didn't have enough mobile experience. And of course I didn't make it past the first interview. So, being someone who grew up loving Disney, that didn't stop me from creating my own concept. Since that concept is 2 years old, it's looking a bit outdated. So I decided to redesign it this past week. And you're about to see that redesign. So let's dive right in. As you can see on my website, this is the concept that I created back in 2017. I created a few pages for it. I created a main page, a Pixar example, and I created a mobile example. You're not going to see a redesign of the mobile example, but you will see redesigns of the other example. By the time you see this video, you'll probably see the new mock-ups on this web page. So in Adobe XD, I started off with a 1280 by 800 pixel canvas. I'm basically using shapes to lay out a grid. The top row is going to have 2 columns, the second row is going to have 3 columns, and all of the rows below that are going to have 6 columns. And they're basically just going to be links to either movies or studios and franchises. And so now I'm just taking some of the images and then popping them right into the gridded shapes that I put in here. At the beginning here, I added a 20 pixel radius to the corners. So that's why you see these rounded edges. The little grid tool at the top right of Adobe XD really speeds up the process, so I don't have to duplicate all these shapes manually. It's one thing that made this redesign much faster than the original design, which I actually created in Sketch. So now I'm just popping in some of my favorite movies. So at the top I have a favorite movies row, then the second row is a golden age classics row, and then the 90s live action, which has some classics like Homeward Bound and Cool Runnings. If you grew up in the 90s, you can't get enough of these films. And of course I had a Star Wars row, and at the bottom I had a Pixar row. And here I'm just popping in some icons so I can create the bottom nav, which is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be similar to the bottom nav that you see on the current mock-ups that Disney actually released for the streaming service that they are going to actually put out. They recently just released a screenshot that has a bottom nav that's similar to this one. While I'm creating while I'm creating projects in Adobe XD, I like to prototype along the way. So during this time lapse, you'll occasionally see arrows dart across the screen. It means I'm linking some of the shapes to different artboards, so they'll act as links within the prototype. And here I decided that the Disney logo was a little bit too large, so I shrank it, and now I'm moving everything up. I also decided that the 20 pixel radius was a little bit too much, so I made the radius on all of the images to be 10 pixels. Now, unlike my original design concept, right now I'm creating a movie page, or an example of a movie page, and of course I picked my favorite, which is the Lion King. I saw that in theaters 3 times. I believe I still have my original ticket stub somewhere in a box. But Lion King is definitely one of the inspirations behind me pursuing a creative career, whether it's design or art. And here I use the Disney Channel logo to sample the blue to use for the buttons. And that'll be the universal blue that I use for buttons and links. So here I'm going to use it for the play movie button and for the play album button. And here I'm just popping in all of the songs from a Lion King soundtrack. Here I decided add to favorites text wasn't enough, so I decided to actually create a favorites icon, which of course I'm going to use the blue for, or the same blue that I used for the button. And here I had a little bit of trouble. I had a little bit of trouble centering the heart within the box here, so I created 4 more so it could help me. And then grouped them, and so it could help me center that heart within this box. Anyway, I went into Adobe Illustrator and created a back icon. And so I'm just going to pop that right in there. And I will link that to automatically go to whatever the previous page is. So when you click it in the prototype, it'll take you back to the previous screen that you're on. And here I'm creating an example of the actual movie interface. And of course, for The Lion King, I'm using the opening scene, which I believe it's got to be one of the best opening scenes of any movie ever made. I mean, if you've never seen the movie, I mean, I can't imagine you haven't seen the movie by now, but that opening scene it should just blow any movie fan away. But the interface I'm using sort of mimics I'm basically using the YouTube interface for the movie interface. I mean, I could have used Vimeo or any other service, but I like the way YouTube functions, so I'm sort of going off of YouTube. And here I'm creating the basic shapes for, going to the, forwarding and rewinding and pausing. And of course, I'm creating an icon for full screen, which I believe I later realized I don't actually need, because the movie automatically plays in full screen based on the mock-ups that I made here. And of course a close button so you could actually get out of it while it's in full screen. I like to rename, I like to keep my artboards organized, so you'll see me naming and renaming stuff along the way. It's just a good habit if you're a UI designer or a UX designer and you're working with a team. So I'll even do that on my personal projects. Also keeps the OCD part of me sane. So now I copied that Lion King page, and I'm going to use that, the elements of that page to throw in the Beauty and the Beast elements, the live action Beauty and the Beast elements. Of course, like many Disney purists, I originally wasn't a big fan of these shot-for-shot live-action remakes, but of course, being a Disney fan, I had to go see them, and I mean, they've grown on me. They're pretty good to me. So I actually do have a soft spot for all of these remakes, like Beauty and the Beast, Maleficent. I still haven't seen Dumbo and Aladdin yet. I'm definitely going to go see Lion King when it comes out this year. There's just too much to watch this year. I know there's going to be another Frozen film. There's some Pixar stuff coming up, like Toy Story 4. And what is that new one? Onward, I think, comes out next year. So I copied the Beauty and the Beast page, and I'm going to turn this new page into another one of my favorite films, which is The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I haven't seen in forever, which is kind of a shame. But I mean, I probably have 100 films on my to watch list that I haven't seen yet. Admittedly, I haven't seen any of the films in this Marvel universe, and I know that I get a lot of heat for that, but I'll eventually binge watch all of those. I promise. But yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a great go-to for holiday season. And here I realized I forgot to put the length of the songs. So, and there's no room for that, so I'm making the font smaller and popping in, the different lengths of the tracks. Nightmare Before Christmas has another classic soundtrack. This is Halloween. I had a former coworker who really loves that Oogie Boogie song. A shout out to Jill. We also share a love for Wall-E, so she'll appreciate this this Pixar screen because I feature Wall-E as the splash image. And you will eventually see a Wall-E movie screen too. Leave it to Pixar to enable us to feel the emotions of a robot. I didn't realize until creating this page just how many tracks Wall-E's soundtrack has. It's got, I think it's something like 38 tracks, which is that's quite a lengthy album. And it's twice the length of a typical album. And here I'm going through Wikipedia to see which one I'm missing. Yeah, there. Okay, at the end here, I finish up by reorganizing layers, finishing the prototype links, and of course, testing the prototype. So now I've slowed the time lapse down to real time so I could demonstrate the prototype in real time. And being able to demonstrate prototypes that's a great feature here in the Adobe XD. At the top, you could slide the top row. Actually, you could slide any of these rows, but I only created the interaction for the top one. If you select Beauty and the Beast, of course, it takes you to the Beauty and the Beast page here. Select the back button, that works okay. You can see all the movies that I put onto the home page. And scroll back up. Let's try the Lion King link, that works. Play movie, it should go to the movie watching interface. Close that, it takes you back to the Lion King page, go back, it will take you back to the home screen. Now let's try the Pixar page, that works. Scroll down, you can see all the Pixar movies. You can see some of the shorts and some of the feature-length films. Select the splash image with Wall-E, it'll take you to the Wall-E page. Select the back button, it'll take you back to the Pixar page. And select the back button again, it should take you back to the home page, that works. And I realized I forgot to show the Nightmare Before Christmas screen in the prototype, so there it is. And that's it. Anyway, if you made it this far and you like the video, then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and take care. Thanks for watching.